Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special episode of Porch Asses. We're recording on Sunday. It's a little different for us, but I thought we'd keep to the end of the draft to record today's episode. And we are here talking about the NFL draft that finished up yesterday evening. I'm Morgan.
I'm Jeremy.
He is Mr. Irrelevant, and here we go. So, I want to start this off. The Jacksonville Jaguars are not going to be very good. Not good at all. Yes, Trevor Lawrence is probably the highest rated quarterback in a very, very, very long time. He's never lost a regular season game in college or in high school. Here's my hot take for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's not going to win a game next year.
Wow. We're starting off early.
We're starting off hot and early. I hate Urban Meyer. I give it a season until he's back with heart issues, as I use air quotes again. I hate the Travis Etienne pick at 25. They don't need a running back. They had James Robinson last year, who was a 1,000-yard rusher. Plus, that was a stupid pick. Trevor Lawrence has, to me, no weapons around him. But we're starting off hot here. I wanted to get this off my chest all weekend. But the Jacksonville Jaguars will not win a game next year. And if they do, they're going to win maybe one or two. And they're going to be right back in where they're at now.
That makes sense.
But you said something today that before we started recording, before about an hour and a half ago, that you said they're going to contend that division?
I honestly do. Part of me thinks, they're going to be, for some reason, I just feel like they're going to be sneaky good.
Name me one Jacksonville defensive player.
Miles Jack.
Oh, fuck.
I just think Indianapolis, God only knows what kind of Carson Wentz you're going to get.
That's true.
Houston, that is a
tire fire.
That's a tire fire worse than any reality TV show you've ever seen. Tennessee, yes, they're good, but is Ryan Tannehill really your answer?
Yes.
I don't know about
You
that.
don't have to have a good quarterback.
True.
When you have Derrick Henry.
True.
Derrick Henry is a generational running back.
Yes.
That you don't see very often.
Very true, yeah.
You don't need to have a good quarterback when you have Derrick Henry. Yes, they have A.J. Brown.
Yes.
Great wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Huge wide receiver. Can go up and get a ball.
Yeah.
If it's horribly thrown. You don't need a good quarterback. And their defense is good. Mike Vrabel's a hell of a coach.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves.
He doesn't. And again, like we're talking, that division's not very good.
No.
But like I said, we are talking about the draft. I talked about my dislike of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'll give you a hot take. If we're going to do it that way, I'll give you a hot take.
What?
I don't think Trevor Lawrence should have went number one.
That's a hot take and a wrong take. I think the quarterbacks, and we're going to talk about every single one here, I think he's leaps and bounds upon the other four that went in the first round. 5 in the first.
Four, no. And then five.
Yeah,
five total.
Yeah. I have a hot take on pick 2. I don't think Zach Wilson is going to be very good. He is another. I think Sam Darnold's a good quarterback, and I don't think the Jets should have got rid of him. And I think Carolina is going to be a hell of a good team this year because they got Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Or not Zach Wilson, but Sam Darnold. I think the Jets are going to be
a dumpster fire.
A dumpster fire again. I don't like Zach Wilson. He had a hell of a 2019 season in Provo and at BYU. His 2020 started off shaky. Yeah, he had a good season. It's cupcake after cupcake after cupcake after cupcake. And we're going to talk about this a little bit about Trey Lance, too. I don't think Zach Wilson's going to be a good NFL quarterback.
I don't see it either. He's one of those ones you call the quote-unquote flash in the pan. Had one good year and will be a backup the rest of his career.
No, I have a hot take. He is the next Jordan Lynch.
Dude! Ouch!
I'm bringing out the Northern Illinois great.
Oh, buddy.
who set records in 2 consecutive seasons for rushing yards and passing yards, finished third in Heisman voting behind Jameis Winston that year, ends up signing with the Bears as a running back, is out of the NFL in 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't think Zach Wilson's that good. And I think the Jets are going to be bad. This is where I get the Trey Lance at 3 with San Francisco.
See, I'm a Trey Lance guy. I like Trey Lance.
I like Trey Lance. Obviously, he's a project. Obviously, they did not trade Jimmy G, which I thought they were going to, for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a whole situation.
That's a whole show right there.
I think Trey Lance is the project. I think it's 2 years, 3 years before he's starting in San Francisco.
Yeah, I could see it.
But I like the kid's arm. I know he's accuracy issues, and he showed that last season at North Dakota State. But I think out of all the quarterbacks taken, I think to me, in the system he's in, I think he's the one that comes out on top.
It fits. He is you draft for what you have, and I think right there San Francisco did it.
Yeah, I think the system that San Francisco runs, and obviously Kittle at tight end.
Just turn around, just throw him the ball. It'll be fine.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. I think obviously Jimmy G is still the number one quarterback on that team. I think like I said, I think it's a project for Trey Lance.
If he stays healthy.
If
Jimmy G stays healthy.
Yeah. Let's see. It was
Atlanta was at 4.
4. Kyle Pitts.
I love that pick. I absolutely love that pick.
I like that pick too. I like the idea of sticking with Matty Ryan.
Matt Ryan now has Tony Gonzalez 2.0. Like he has his receiver.
I like that you have weapons on Atlanta's offense now. Obviously Julio's. Yeah, I mean, yes. Do I think Julio's on the downside of his career?
Oh yeah.
But you still have Julio at 1. You have Calvin Ridley at wide receiver 2. You have Pitts who can block and be a Travis Kelce type tight end.
Oh yeah. That's a good comparison.
Yeah. You have Todd Gurley as running back still.
And with Gurley healthy,
he's still Todd Gurley. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're getting at least 1,000.
I think Atlanta. I think of all the top 4 picks here, I think Atlanta has the brightest future.
Yes.
I think in a few years you're going to have to start looking for that Matty Ryan replacement in the next 2 or 3 years.
My thing is they could have. There were some good quarterbacks late in the later rounds. Not, like the 5 that went the first round, but there are good quarterbacks that were there that they could have found an heir apparent.
Who took Kyle Trask?
Tampa.
Oh, that's right. He did go to Tampa.
I was a little pissed about that.
I think he was the worst quarterback of the second tier quarterbacks, but whatever. I'm a Kellen Mond super fan.
Oh God, yeah.
But when I think Minnesota took him,
yeah, and he will take Kirk Cousins' job.
I agree with that. I love Kellen Mond. I said this back in September when I was watching a Texas A&M game that the Steelers should have took him.
Oh God, yeah, that'd have been great.
Because you know my feelings on Ben Roethlisberger.
We'll probably get to that.
Yep. But I'm just going to go through. I'm going to just go down. We're going to start 5 at Cincinnati, and you're just going to give me good or bad picks here. We're just going to go real quick.
All right.
Down for a while, and then we got some stuff to talk about here at 11. So, 5 Ja'Marr Chase. It's a Cincinnati.
Smart. That was a good pick.
Bad.
The hell?
Bad.
Oh, you need somebody to protect Joe Burrow's knee?
Joe Burrow's going to be dead before he can get the ball to Ja'Marr Chase.
Yeah, you're going to see T.J. Watt 2 times a year?
I was going to say the happiest people for them taking Ja'Marr Chase are Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt.
Oh, they're going to eat him alive.
That offensive line for Cincinnati is still so bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. My phone died here. Penei Sewell at 7.
That's who the Bengals should have taken.
That's who the Bengals should have taken.
It's a big kid.
I like it. Somebody in Detroit can actually protect Jared Goff, and maybe he can actually be a good quarterback now. We'll see.
Yeah.
J.C. Horn to Carolina. I really like that pick.
I do too.
I actually had. You mean actually he's the first defensive player to come out of the draft this weekend, and obviously I had him as the top defensive back in the draft, and I think it adds a huge thing to Carolina's defense.
Because that defense was pretty bad last year.
Patrick Surtain, I felt very old when.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Like I see these kids I watched growing up. They're like those guys. Their kids are in the draft now. I'm going to get that later in the round too. I think it's an okay pick for Denver. I think they should have went offensive line.
You see a theme here. Like, a lot of these teams are offensive line issues.
Yeah.
No matter how good the team is, like, that's the main key. And I can't wait for our father to hear this, but the main key to a winning team is the offensive line.
Yeah. And this draft was stacked with good offensive linemen.
Yes, it was.
Great offensive linemen. And I think 10 years down the road, you're going to look back at this draft, and I think there's going to be some very...
Somebody said it, and they told it to Schefter, that they said Penei Sewell will be a gold jacket offensive lineman.
Nope, I have my... There's only going to be one Hall of Famer in this first round. This is my hot take, and I'm going to get to it here in a little bit. If you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. We're going to skip. Let's see, we're at 9. It's Surtain. 10, Devontae Smith, I think, is the steal of the first round. The Eagles trading up to 11 with Dallas.
Yeah. They needed a receiver because Thursday night could not tell you who played receiver for them.
I have a few people that I work with that are very big Eagles fans, and they are absolutely loving Devontae Smith at this pick. I think Hurts got a weapon now. I compare Devontae to a very, very young Deshaun Jackson.
Ooh, good comparison.
And it's going to be very good for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Justin Fields at 11. I want to talk about this real quick. Shout out to the social media manager about a month and a half ago that tweeted a picture of Andy Dalton with the caption QB1.
That guy no longer has a job.
That guy probably no longer has a job. Bears fans were very happy with this.
You're not?
I am. It's a good pick for Chicago. They need a quarterback because Andy Dalton's not the quarterback. Andy Dalton
has never been the quarterback for any team.
But obviously Allen Robinson at wide receiver 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think, how do I want to say this? I think Chicago's a better team for taking Fields, but I don't think they're not the top of that division yet.
Oh God, no.
And obviously, with Rodgers, if the situation deteriorates even more, or say Rodgers retires, I think the Bears are the best team in that division then.
Yeah, I think that defense is good.
That defense is very good.
Anytime you have a guy like Khalil Mack on your team, you're pretty set.
Moving on to 12, Micah Parsons for Penn State.
I like that kid.
I like the kid. I don't like the pick for Dallas, though.
They're trying to replace Sean Lee.
So you have Penn State linebacker. I don't like Micah Parsons. I like him as a player. I don't like him as a person. Obviously, the reports of hazing at Penn State.
No.
That plays a big issue into me. But I don't know how Micah's going to get along with Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I don't know how well that's going to work. I don't know how anyone gets along with Jerry Jones.
Okay, 13. Here's my hot take. In 15 years, Rashawn Slater, offensive lineman out of Northwestern, isn't getting elected into Canton, Ohio. I think he is the offensive lineman out of this draft that will be in Canton. The dude is an absolute stud. He has someone to protect Justin Herbert. And I think San Diego challenges Kansas City for that division next year. This goes back to my old days. And if people know me, growing up, I was a giant Chargers fan. That was my hate for Drew Brees and my love for LaDainian Tomlinson. But it's nice to see a quarterback having the ability to succeed in San Diego.
Yeah. Well, LA, whatever.
Or
Wherever
LA.
the hell
Sorry,
they're at.
they're still the San Diego Chargers to me.
Speaking of that, we'll probably get to it, but just saying, Alex Kessman, our kicker, signed a free agent contract with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Hey, more like Blessman. 14, the Jets taking Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. God, I feel bad for Jets fans. I don't like the pick.
That was the best offense.
Yes, you need someone to protect Zach Wilson.
That's the best offensive lineman that was available at that point.
Yes, but yes, you need to protect Zach Wilson. But you also, to me, you need a weapon.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything.
No, you need a weapon.
Does he even have a running back? I don't know if they.
I don't know who the Jets running back is, and I really don't care. 15.
I want to punch this motherfucker in the face.
I hate Mac Jones. I hope Mac Jones fails miserably in New England.
Same.
I despise that Vince McMahon walking some bitch.
He has a very punchable face.
He's very punchable.
And he's going to the right organization.
Yes. And I said that on Twitter Thursday night. Mac Jones going to New England. I want to punch him in the face, but he's going to the perfect organization for him. Mm-hmm. Do I think Mac Jones succeeds in New England? No. I think he's the worst quarterback taken in the first round. I don't even know why San Francisco was even, there were reports of San Francisco to think about taking Mac. I don't know why you would. I don't think Mac Jones is on that A-tier list. Mac Jones is only good because of the weapons he had around him.
That is also
Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Waddle.
Najee Harris,
which we're going to get to here in a little bit and talk about probably pretty in
depth.
In depth, yeah.
But also he
was playing behind probably the best offensive line ever in college football, and people will be angry to hear that, but that Alabama offensive line last year was the best offensive line ever in college football.
Yeah.
Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa, going to Arizona. I love the pick.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about the draft are these kids that are home getting these calls from general managers.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Zaven Collins is like, I'm going to go fucking kill somebody. We're going to win Super Bowls, and I'm going to be out there killing guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes,
he's ready to go. He's ready to go.
I'll run through a wall. 17, the worst pick of the first round.
Here's the head scratcher.
Alex Leatherwood. Yes, I'm going to rewind 45 seconds when I say the Alabama offensive line was the best offensive line in college football. And I know that Raiders lit their offensive line on fire last season. And I know they needed an offensive lineman, but I had him going in the late second, early third round. Yeah. I don't know what Mike Mayock is doing in Vegas.
I don't think that was his pick, though.
I think it's the ghost of
Al. Oh, hell yeah.
Because nothing says opening night of the draft like the Raiders being fucking idiots. And
it wouldn't be an NFL draft ever, was
it? It's I have no words on how bad. It was
such a head scratcher.
Yeah, I have no words on how bad of a pick that is for Oakland. There was offensive linemen above him that I would have took.
Oh, easy.
That were available.
Mm-hmm.
Which I want to get to a little bit in the second round and show my disappointment in some of these picks that I think should have went higher. Obviously at 18, Jalen Phillips out of Miami. The dude's UCLA made him medically retire or something like that.
Yeah, they medically something.
And then he transfers to Miami and is going to be a stud for the Dolphins. I love the Dolphins draft this year. Did we skip Miami's early pick? No, that's their first pick, right?
Yeah, that's their first pick. They picked later.
No, yeah, that's their first pick. I love Miami's draft. I have Miami as the top winner of this year's draft. Miami's going to be good.
Yeah. Can they beat New England in that division?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, so they move up above.
It's not beating New England. It's beating Buffalo.
I know, but can they?
Can they beat Buffalo? Yes. I think Josh Allen has a down year.
Wow.
I think Tua is the best quarterback in that division.
I'd still take Josh Allen.
Tua.
But I do
Tua's
like
got some weapons. That defense is good.
Miami's going to have put up video game numbers. I'm telling you.
I don't know if they're going to put video game numbers up, but I think they win that division. And I think they make the playoffs. And
Oh, Jalen Waddle was their first pick. Duh. It's 6.
oh, yeah. I was going to say, I knew they were like, what the hell?
Tua got a weapon.
Yeah. I was like, I knew they took Waddle, but I'm like,
There's Tua's weapon.
Oh, whatever.
Because it was a run of like college teammates.
Yeah. Let's see. Jalen Phillips at 18. Jermaine Davis, linebacker out of Kentucky, going to the Washington football team. I don't know much about him.
I don't either.
I don't watch other than if it's Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ole Miss. I don't really watch much lower tier SEC football.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good. I don't know much about them. But that Washington defense is going to be very good next year.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be really good.
Let's see.
Kadarius Toney at New York
is a horrible fucking pick for the Giants. A horrible fucking pick.
Okay, we're going to just name this show Morgan Hates New York.
Yes. Shout out to the Knicks, though.
Says no one ever.
No, here's the thing. I think there's better offensive weapons out there than Toney for the Giants. They wanted to go out and draft an offensive player who's going to succeed right away. It's not it. It's a make or break year for Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of a break. Saquon's got to stay healthy, which I'm not even sure that's possible.
I'm not even sure that's going to happen.
But that division's down again. Obviously, I have the Eagles winning it. Hurts got some weapons now.
It probably.
I think the defense of the Redskins is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Some questions on their offense still. The Cowboys are going to be mediocre.
Dak's coming back, but can Dak stay healthy?
It's the Dak and Zeke show again.
Yeah.
In Dallas. There's a lot of questions if Dak can stay healthy, if Zeke can go back to the Zeke of 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So, obviously, and the Giants are the Giants. They're going to be bad.
Yeah.
Quiddy Payne, out of Michigan, going to Indy.
I love that kid. I love his play.
Dude, he's very good.
He is a beast.
He's very good, and the Colts defense just got a hell of a lot better because of it.
I like what he said about when after he got drafted and they asked about his mom. He's like, she don't have to work anymore. She's retired. Boy's going to pay for everything for his mom.
Yeah. Well, I want to hold on one second. I want to go back to Alex Leatherwood because I remember seeing a tweet. From where he was suggested to go and where he went, he made $13 million guaranteed. Just because he went 17 to Oakland. That's
smart move, Mayock.
Yeah, that's ridiculous to me.
Jesus.
Here's my hot take of the mid to late first round here. Caleb Farley is going to be a stud in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
There's questions about the back issue.
Then he got COVID.
Poor kid in his draft party standing in front of the fucking webcam alone.
Yeah.
Because he has COVID and probably nobody can be in the room with him. I feel horrible. I think he's going to be a stud. The only problem is when I think about Caleb Farley, the only thing I can think about is Quadri Olson stiff-arming him on that 98-yard run in the Pitt Virginia Tech game last year. That's the only thing I can think about.
I forgot about that.
Is he's the kid that Quadri Olson completely
murdered
on that 98-yard touchdown run. So I think he's going to be a stud in Tennessee. This goes back to me. You don't need if you have a good defense and a good running back and a generational running back like
Derrick
Henry, you don't need a quarterback. Just turn around and hand it to the big guy. That's all you're going to need to do.
And and buy a brick wall to stop Derrick Henry. I don't even know if that'll work.
Yeah. 23, the Vikings take Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech.
That kid is big.
That's who I thought Oakland should have took.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't.
No, he was the best offensive lineman at the board at the time. That's who Oakland should have took, and it should have been good. Do you want to skip 24 and come back to 24?
Yeah, let's come back to 24.
Okay. 25, ETN, I think is a stupid pick for Jacksonville. He's going to be a third down back. And
he's going to return punts.
He's a third down back. Etienne's a third down back in Jacksonville. I don't like Urban. Don't. I think Lawrence is going to be good. I don't think he's going to be great. They're going to lose a lot of games. Cleveland, I actually have my second winner of the draft.
Yeah,
their defense is going to be so good. It scares the shit out of me as a Steelers fan. Rashawn Bateman, 27.
That's who the Giants should have taken.
Yeah.
You want a guy
from Minnesota.
You want a guy that wants to get into the end zone? He's the one.
Yeah. I'm glad because Lamar needed a weapon because I don't think Hollywood Brown is that guy in Baltimore.
He thinks he is, but he's not.
He thinks he is. Lamar's got to show his arm first, then his legs. I think he's fine. I think he realized that a little bit last season.
Yeah, I think he did too.
Lamar's going to be Lamar. Don't get me wrong. I think he's the best quarterback in that division.
Yeah.
My thing is you need to surround him that he can actually, even if he can't throw it, you're going to have a weapon out there that's going to make room for him to run, which is what they needed. Peyton Turner, defensive end out at Houston, going to New Orleans.
Makes that defense a little bit better.
Defense is good.
You could throw him on the other side of Cam Jordan. You'll be
I don't think the Saints' defense is their question this year.
Oh, hell no.
I mean, you're Drew Brees.
They did pick up a quarterback.
Who the hell did they pick up?
I'm glad you're sitting down.
Who?
Ian Book.
Oh, they drafted Ian Book. Fuck Notre Dame. Eric Stokes, cornerback out of Georgia, going to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, if you're listening to this podcast, and I know you're not, retire fucking now.
You got a hot fiance. Just get out while you still can.
Do the whole Jeopardy thing. Retire now. That's what you need to do. Nothing against your play. You're a reigning MVP.
The organization ain't going to pay you.
Is Aaron Rodgers treating the Green Bay Packers like family?
It's the only one he's got. You were on fire Thursday night with them Aaron Rodgers family tweets.
Oh, yeah.
They're on fire.
That can't stop. I'm sorry. Gregory Rousseau, defensive end out of Miami, going to Buffalo.
We've seen a lot of him.
Yeah, we have as Pitt fans.
Of course, because, every time they brought up the Virginia Tech or a Miami guy, they always show Pitt highlights. I know, it's weird, what the hell?
But they don't show Caleb Farley getting destroyed by Quadri Olson. Show me why that. Jason Oweh, defensive end out of Penn State. The Baltimore Ravens defense got a lot better. Ladies and gentlemen, the Steelers are going to finish third in that division next year.
Yep.
And rounding up the second round, Joe Tyrone, defensive end out of Washington.
That's my guy.
I don't think...
That's my guy right there.
I think Tampa Bay has a very good chance of winning the Super Bowl again next year.
I can see it. No. They didn't lose much.
You have touchdown, Tom.
Yeah.
Brady's going to put you in a winning situation no matter what.
Yeah.
And I know it hates you to say that.
Yeah, but
the defense is very good. Shout out to Jordan Whitehead.
Amen.
Held a Pitt.
So
we did round one, except one pick, and we're going to talk about this pretty in depth here. Number 24. I always said 23. 24. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Najee Harris, running back out of Alabama. Going into the draft, I was don't take a running back in the first round. Don't take a running back in the first round. Don't take a running back in the first round.
You were.
What do? They take a running back in the first round. Thinking about it and going over some stuff, I love the pick.
The Steelers were dead last in the NFL in rushing last year. Fucking last.
They also had the worst offensive line. By the way, he's no longer with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I said it on Twitter Thursday night, but fuck Al Villanueva forever. Fuck him.
Wait, did he leave? Did I miss that?
Apparently he's signing with the Ravens. This broke like last week and a half ago that he was signing with the Ravens.
All 11 Steelers to line up on his side and just bull rush the shit out of him.
Yeah, TJ Watt's going to line up against Andre Villanueva next year.
And just eat him alive?
I can't wait.
Villanueva couldn't even block a gust of wind.
So, I want to talk about Najee. I think he's going to be a very good running back. He can block. He can catch out of the backfield, and he obviously has the speed to be an NFL running back.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Steelers had their offensive line questions, but I think they kind of solved that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that it was a good push in the right direction.
Yeah, good push in the right direction with the fridge in the third round. My only thing is with the pick. Okay, you draft. Okay, let me rewind a little bit. 30 seconds here. They needed three things, I think, in the first three rounds: a running back, a tight end, and an offensive lineman. They got all three.
Mm-hmm.
Working backwards, the offensive line in this draft, it was very offensive lineman heavy, and I think they got what they needed and a good center.
Yeah.
In the third round out of Illinois, Pat Freiermuth, tight end. They got he can block. I want to compare him. He can be a mini Gronk.
Oh, I was going to compare him to somebody else.
Who?
He's going to be called Heath Miller for his entire career.
Well, no shit, because any tight end who catches the ball, you're gonna have those Yinzers who are high on honestly Chip Chop Champ. Heath, it's gonna happen.
I want to get a drunk Yinzer to say Freiermuth.
And a Pat Freiermuth and down there, and
I had one of them Freiermuths down the south side. He's got a sandwich already named after him.
Yep. But I think the Steelers and people are, of course, the Yinzers are angry, and Yinzer will always be angry, and fuck Andrew Filipponi and Chris Mueller, because
God.
I don't think the organization can carry much more water by the Pittsburgh media. It's absolutely disgusting on how they've treated a 23-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And Najee Harris.
They basically
they already try to run him out of town.
Yeah.
And if there's one good thing the Pittsburgh media is good but bad about at the same time is running fucking people out of town. I mean, they did it with Kutch.
Yeah.
They did it with Phil Kessel. They're going to do it to a kid who hasn't even played a down in the NFL yet.
But when he scores 3 touchdowns in a game, those will be the guys that jump on the bandwagon real fast.
Oh, yeah. I think Najee's going to be a very good running back. I think the one lone question is the guy that's playing right in front of him.
No, that's 38-year-old dinosaur.
And what they did, it's either they have a rapist or a racist as quarterback this season. You have Ben Roethlisberger, who should have retired 2 years ago, or you have Make America Great Again boy Mason Rudolph, who signed another year. They're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolutely screwed, and the defense I think is going to be okay this year, but the questions are huge on the play of Ben Roethlisberger. And you know my feelings on Ben. I don't like him. Never have. Yes, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but you get out when the getting's good in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to that whole Batman line. You live long enough or you die, whatever, to become a hero, or you live long enough to see you become the villain, whatever. Thank you, Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Ben's a villain. Yeah. To me, Ben has always been a villain. And I forget who I was talking to at work. I'm like, I don't like Ben I love the Steelers, but I hate Ben Roethlisberger. And I think the Steelers are screwed for many years to come because Ben Roethlisberger. If he would have retired this year, okay, I would have been okay with a year of maybe Mason Rudolph or anything like that to draft the quarterback next year. Do I think they should? Okay, here we go. My question is, should the Steelers tank for Sam Howell out of North Carolina? Because obviously he's my top quarterback next year.
No.
What do you do? What do you do if Ben gets hurt and Ben retires? You're fucked for a decade.
Yeah, you got a point there, because thankfully that contract for Mason is only a year.
Oh, I forgot about Dwayne Haskins, too.
Also, we forgot about our favorites. Steeler quarterback,
Who?
Josh Dobbs. He's still on the team.
Do they have 4 quarterbacks on the roster?
As far as I can remember, Dobbs is still on the roster.
Like, I like Dwayne Haskins, and I think he got
screwed.
He
in
got
Washington.
screwed from day one in Washington. And I know he has character issues. And I love Mike Tomlin to death, and I will always love Mike Tomlin to death because, how do I say this? Mike Tomlin has won a Super Bowl. Of course, you always have those injuries. Well, he won coward players.
You hear that with every organization, though.
Yeah, you heard that in the Penguins and all that. So, my thing is, Mike Tomlin, I think that's the perfect place to put Dwayne Haskins. I think the organization can straighten out the character issues, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
The strip club scene in Pittsburgh is not as good as DC. Shout out the cheerleaders.
Mark Madden would tell you otherwise.
Fuck him.
That fat ass.
But there's a lot of big questions going into the Steelers coming in the next season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're the 3rd best team in that division. I think Cleveland wins the division next year. I think Baltimore's right behind them. I think Ben is in his final year of the Steelers and playing. We'll see 5 years in Canton. And I also think Joe Burrow dies next season because the Bengals don't have an offensive line. But my thing is the Steelers answered 3 of their biggest questions in the draft. Offensive line, tight end, and a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I still love James Conner to death, and I hope he succeeds in Arizona.
I hope he does too.
But they answered the 3 biggest questions they had.
Yeah.
Were they the right answers? Remains yet to be seen.
We won't know for a couple of years.
But I don't think the Steelers got better. And I don't think they will get better until the play at quarterback is solved. And I don't think that's going to be for 4 or 5 years because Ben Roethlisberger has set that team back.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you have your number 1 in Claypool. You slow Juju in the slot. And then you have Deontay Johnson or James Washington.
Yeah.
That's 3-4. Yes, I think they have the wide receiver weapons. I think Najee Harris is a very good running back. So they have the running back question solved. Hell, even throw Derek Watt in there, you have your fullback. God bless the fullbacks.
True.
And the offensive line in the draft, the 3rd round, obviously has gotten better.
Yeah.
But it remains to be seen how the team actually got better.
And my thing is, too, bringing in Matt Canada as the offensive coordinator.
That's another big question.
This offense will not fit Ben Roethlisberger. It does not.
We've seen enough of Matt Canada. God bless Matt Canada.
God bless Matt Canada.
But
we have seen.
And I know Ben and Randy Fichtner were like a buddy cop show and best of friends, and I hated Randy. You hated Randy.
Oh my God! I wish explosive diarrhea on him.
I think the biggest question in the offense, now that you bring it up, is how is Matt Canada's system going to play into what the Steelers now have as weapons?
It makes Claypool, Juju, Deontay, James, and Najee look fantastic. It's gonna.
But can you do that with a 38-year quarterback?
No, hell no.
With 2 bad knees and how many rape charges?
This system does not work for him. It does not work. It is a fast-moving system. You get the ball out fast. You let the guys do their work. This doesn't work for him. Because Ben will hold the damn ball, have a sandwich, and read the fucking newspaper, and try to do the Sudoku puzzle while he's standing back there in the pocket.
And you can't do that with the offensive line. The Steelers had the worst offensive line in the league last year.
And that goes back to not being able to run the ball.
Yep. So we talked about the Steelers. I'm just going to go down the draft and some of the big names and where they're going. Yeah. And I'm going to make you feel old. Number 47 to the Los Angeles Chargers, Asante Samuel Jr. You know how weird it is to see these guys that I grew up watching now their kids are playing football.
I'm
31, but I feel like 61. I feel 81. I feel 91. I feel 101.
We were sitting at the bar last night with Dad and I were, and that pick came in, and I was like, Dad, look up. He goes, holy shit, don't you feel old? I said, yeah. I remember watching Asante Sammy win Super Bowls in New England.
Yeah. So, don't get me wrong. We talked a little bit about Pat Freiermuth before. I really think the Steelers should have won Creed Humphrey, center from Oklahoma.
Did you see his draft party?
Yeah.
The guy was sitting home alone. It was great.
Hell, that's what I would do. Anybody you want to talk about?
How about we? Because what I was trying to do was because this is what everybody wants to talk about.
Yeah, I have a joke at the 80th pick, the San Francisco 49ers. The running back out of Ohio State, if he transferred to a small college in Crescent, he'd be Trey Sermon on the mound.
God, that joke again.
Yeah, that joke again. By the way, shout out to the University of Pittsburgh Panthers with 6 draft picks, the most by an ACC team.
And the most in the university since '94 or
Yeah.
something like that?
I saw a kid from North Carolina, not a kid from North Carolina fan tweeted about how North Carolina had 5 picks and they had the most out of the ACC, and like all his mentions were like, "Oh, dude, Pitt had 6."
Let's throw the if you look at the quarterbacks, obviously you had the big 5. Then Kyle Trask went to New England. I mean Tampa. David Mills went to Houston from Stanford University.
Yeah.
He's got that job in the bag because Deshaun Watson ain't going to play. Your favorite and mine, Kellen Mond, went round 3. And a guy I didn't think would get drafted, but did, Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah, that's a very...
He went to Indianapolis.
I know Carson Wentz just got traded to Indy. I think it's make or break from day one for Carson Wentz.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be very interesting to see what Wentz does in Indy.
I liked Wentz coming out of college from North Dakota.
I didn't. And this is a very question I'm going to have Trey Lance, too, is playing in the FCS division.
It's Division 2.
It's cupcake. I don't want to say cupcake because there are some very good teams in Division 2. And North Dakota State plays a lot of them. Obviously, the talent isn't what it is in Division 1.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I just have too many questions. I think Trey Lance is going to be good. Like I said before, I think it's a 2 or 3 year project for him in San Fran. But the question arises is, can you trust a first round quarterback pick out of a D2 school?
Sure.
Here's a very underrated pick that I think is going to be very helpful for the team he got drafted at. 126, Carolina Panthers select Chuba Hubbard out of Oklahoma State. Before last season, I actually had Chuba Hubbard in the Heisman race.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be... And running backs are a dying breed in the NFL because it has become a pass-heavy league.
Yeah.
Of course, you have your Tyreek Hills and...
But that backfield, though, of him and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Ooh, buddy. It's going to be fun to watch there.
I'm just going...
Everybody fantasy's numbers will be going through the roof.
Yeah, we talked about Ian Book.
The worst Notre Dame quarterback I have ever seen.
You don't want me to talk about Notre Dame.
No.
You know my hate for Notre Dame, and I will not make a Deacon Sullivan joke right now.
Oh, that's a first.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. By the way, shout out to Evan McPherson, the kicker out of Florida, going the 4th round.
Did you see, there was a video on Instagram or Twitter of him kicking the bottle?
No. Hold on. Carolina, 6th round, took a long snapper.
There were long snappers went 2 picks right in a row.
Yeah, shout out to long snappers.
Are we just going to get to the Steeler punter?
Yes. Shout out to Thick Punter.
Oh, buddy.
We saw a lot of them at Georgia Tech.
Yep.
And that was another thing. The Steelers needed a punter, and they got a punter. Jordan Berry sucks ass. And I'm glad they did something to maybe light a fire under the special teams.
This kid is 5'11", 6 foot, depending on who you look at. He's anywhere between 250 to 275. He is thick as hell, averaging an average punt of 45 yards per punt. And also threw a touchdown pass against Miami in 2019. So we have our fifth quarterback.
We have our fifth quarterback.
We have our emergency quarterback.
So we got done golfing yesterday, and we're sitting at my buddy's house, and we're eating Japanese food, and I'm going through the draft list, and number 202 made a joke. Chris Evans got drafted. You mean Captain America? Congrats, he's a running back out of Michigan, went to Cincinnati.
And he actually got drafted this time.
Yeah. But I'm like, hey, Chris Evans got drafted. Was Sam Ehlinger the one, the Texas quarterback, like, Longhorn Nation, we're back? Was that him? And then they went, like, 3-6 next season?
Yeah, he's a piece of garbage. He's not even that good. He'll be in the CFL in 2 years.
Okay, so take anybody drafted in rounds 5, 6, 7. Okay. Obviously, you always have, like, your Brady's and, like, your
Oh, yeah.
Who do you think 5 years is going to be that star?
Can I go Homer and not Homer?
You can go whoever.
Homer, DeMar Hamlin. Not Homer, Chuba Hubbard.
I'm going to go Homer, Jimmy Morrison.
I knew that was coming.
In Oakland. And then I'm going to go Daz Newsome, wide receiver out of North Carolina in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'm just going through the list here.
Justin Fields got some weapons.
He does, yeah. But do they start?
That was my next question
Do they start Andy Dalton?
Hell no. Hell no.
You think Justin Fields beats him out?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I don't think so. I think they start, and I think he sucks ass so much. I think Justin Fields starting by week 5. I'm giving Andy Dalton a little bit of benefit of the doubt.
You saw him play in Dallas, right?
I saw him play in Cincinnati. I saw him. When you get hurt so bad and you're replaced by Ben DiNucci,
yeah,
the questions are there.
That was my question. Next was, out of the big 5 quarterbacks that got took in the first round, who's the one that starts right away?
Take out Trevor Lawrence because he's starting week 1.
Yeah, he is starting week 1. So take the other 4.
Obviously, I'm saying Zach Wilson.
And
I'm saying Mac Jones.
Do you think Mac starts over Cam?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's the douchebag factor. Like, Mac Jones, to me, Mac Jones leads the NFL currently in douchebags per game.
Yeah.
And I think he fits perfectly in that New England system.
Did you see the tweet that somebody put out that Mac Jones is that little kid from the Cam Newton commercial?
Yes.
I think Mac starts as soon as Cam struggles one game, Mac's in.
I think Mac starts week 1.
Because we all know the love for Belichick and Nick Saban, that they're buddy more than most married couples. I think Fields starts. There's something about him.
How long? Sorry, go ahead.
I just think there's something about Justin Fields that has me believing that he starts week 1.
How long into the season do we get our first Zach Wilson hit pieces in New York media?
Oh, it's going to be early.
Yeah, it's going to be very early. And that's why I don't think he's going to succeed in
He's
New York.
Coming from Provo, Utah.
Provo, Utah, and Brigham Young University to concrete jungle wet tomato, New York City.
Or shout out to Rich Eisen, as he liked to call it, Zach's Fifth Avenue.
Oh, I'm done. Thank you, everybody. Now, so
If one person is going to change from what they came out of college to a different person, it's going to be Zach Wilson, because he's going to go into New York and see all this stuff, and he's like, oh my God, this is what it's like outside of Utah?
Flash forward 10 years. Okay. Take these 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round.
Yes.
Flash forward 10 years. How many Super Bowls by 5 quarterbacks?
I would say, man, that's tough. Maximum 3.
Count me down between 0 and 1.
Wow.
I think, depending on his ability, I think Trey Lance has a chance of winning one in San Francisco, and I think Fields might have one in Chicago. Maybe. Other than that, I don't think any. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a good quarterback, but Jacksonville's not going to be good for a very long time. Trey Lance or Zach Wilson, I think, is done in. He's out of the NFL within 5 years. I don't think he's going to be very good in New York. The Jets are going to be very bad for a long time.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is a project. I think he becomes starter in about 2 years. I think he becomes very good. I want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes.
That's an accurate comparison, though.
Let's see. Mac Jones is winning nothing in New England. Who am I missing? Justin Fields, I think, maybe wins 1 in Chicago, maybe, depending on his ability to start and when he starts.
Yeah.
But any last
No,
thoughts or
I
anything like that?
thought it was a good draft. You know,
It was a fun draft.
It was. It was fun.
The past couple of years, last year kind of sucked because it was quarantine. It was
Yeah.
just Goodell sitting in his basement.
Which is weird.
It was a very entertaining draft.
And it was in Cleveland, too.
It was weird. Shout out to Run DMC, though.
Yes.
That pick was hilarious for the Steelers.
It just felt warm, and I just felt all warm and fuzzy every time a
Yeah.
Steeler pick came on, and they just booed the bejesus out of us.
Yep. But other than that, we like to thank everybody for listening. I am Morgan.
I'm Jeremy.
We are Port Justice, and we will see you next time, guys. Thank you.
Yep, bye.